everybody. I wanted to review this guitar, the Yamaha CSF-TA Transacoustic Parlor Guitar. I hope you'll consider watching. Well, I picked up this Yamaha Transacoustic Parlor Guitar. I got it for about 500 bucks. They sell new for about 800. So it's not a really fancy, expensive guitar, but it's maybe an upper intermediate level guitar. You can definitely play it for real, and you could play it out. That's why I bought it. It was kind of a backup guitar for fingerstyle. But I've always liked Yamaha. They're a great company. Yamaha pianos are some of the best pianos you can buy, right up there with Steinway and Baldwin. Yamaha classical guitars are great as well. And whatever you buy with Yamaha, you're going to get your money worth for that price point and more. You're going to get a high quality instrument at that price point when you spend your money on any kind of a Yamaha product. Now, I can't speak with any authority on their motorcycles, their ball bearings, their industrial equipment. I saw a list one time of all the things Yamaha makes. It reminded me a little bit of the Acme Corporation and the Roadrunner and the Coyote. Remember the Roadrunner and the Coyote cartoons? The Acme company, they would make like jet-powered roller skates, female Roadrunner costumes. I mean, they deliver it right out to the desert there where the Roadrunner lived. But Yamaha, they make all kinds of things. I can only speak with some authority or experience on their guitars and their pianos. I played. Well, as you can see here, it's a nice guitar. I don't have too much to say about it. It's got mahogany back and sides. I'm sure those are laminate, or they would have said solid back and sides. If they don't say solid, you can almost guarantee that they're laminated, but that's fine for that price point. That's fine. It does have a solid spruce top and a NATO neck, not to be confused with our North Atlantic Treaty Organization. I'm not that sure what NATO is. It's a type of wood, I guess. There's the, I don't know what, I looked at, I was trying to read what tuning gear ratio those have. For $800, I would imagine it's probably 14 or 16 to 1. If we're lucky, 18 to 1. But it stays in tune pretty well. A little guitar always is going to have a little more trouble tuning than a big full-size dreadnought. But I really like this guitar. Couple things, I don't have too much to say about it. It's pretty much a straightforward guitar. Couple of things I was interested in. It's a parlor guitar, and I guess I'd never really played a parlor guitar per se. So I don't, and when I was reading about it, I started to realize, well, what is a parlor guitar? I always sort of associated them with like ragtime music, kind of old time music, which I think is true, and this does that really well. I bought it for fingerstyle. And I haven't been playing much fingerstyle, and I was recording some little clips for this video last night, and I wanted to brush back up, and I was playing with my bare fingers, and it reminded me of back when I was in like 7th grade learning to play with this hand, and I didn't have calluses yet. But anyway, I don't know what a parlor guitar is, really. I guess they're just smaller guitars. I thought maybe there are, you know, like Martin has those double O and triple O guitars. I kind of thought maybe it was sort of like that, which is one of the, I'd like to get one of those someday. They're expensive, but I'm sure those are excellent for fingerstyle. But to me, one thing I did associate with parlor guitars was more fingerstyle, and maybe more bare finger fingerstyle. So that's kind of why I bought this. The fact that it's small, it's very delicate. And I don't think this is kind of a, you know, heavy duty intermediate guitar with the laminated back and side. So I don't mean delicate like you'll break it, but when you really start to play them, everything feels kind of tight. And if you really were strumming on this, you'd probably hear it start to rattle a little bit or something. Unlike like a really nice big old fat Martin D28 or a Jumbo or something. One observation I had is I'm going to mostly probably play this with my bare fingers, and when I play fingerstyle bare fingers, and I'll probably use my bare fingers on this for more delicate kind of fingerstyle. And if you're really playing a lot of that kind of big boomy kind of Merle Travis fingerstyle, I'd get a bigger guitar and then use picks. I use picks on 3 fingers when I do fingerstyle. That's a little heavier. Try to get some finger picks out here. This is what happens when you try to boil them. Somebody told me once to boil your finger picks. I think it actually might work, but I don't think you're supposed to boil them. Maybe lukewarm water, but I thought he said boil them, and that was the best of the lot, and a lot of them, but anyway. Let's see what we get here. We got a slide bar ring. I'll have to try that out one of these days. I tried it out. I wasn't too impressed. Just one of those adjustable thumb picks. I wrote this song about 15 years ago on a Martin HD28. Let's try it on a little tiny parlor guitar. It feels pretty different. I'm kind of bumping into my fingers all the time. And this is really a 2-guitar song. The best thing is to have one guitar play it down here, and of course a bass and all. But it's really nice with the 2 guitars and a bass. But my part was always up here. The part I always wrote was up here. Let's see how it sounds with this Yamaha. Got to play delicate on this guitar. Thing, it's got the Transacoustic, and I think that was maybe one thing a lot of you were interested in, maybe. There it's on. You know, one takeaway I would have on the Transacoustic System, these are just my candid thoughts, I love it on my classical guitar. ambience. There's something about those nylon strings, and I really notice when that transacoustic, it just adds atmosphere. I'm never sure with the steel strings if it works quite as well. And the steel strings are a little louder. Maybe they kind of almost clash with the ambience of the transacoustic. I do think it's a good system. It's not a hype or gimmick system like some might say, but I also do think it works best, in my opinion, with that nylon string guitar, which is a little quieter, but it kind of elevates it up. And I love when I play that nylon string guitar with that transacoustic. It just kind of gives it such an ambience. And on this, I wasn't sure I was getting as much bang for my buck with the transacoustic. Here it is. There it's coming on, see? Let's try... going up to the country, baby, don't you want to go? See, that kind of finger picking I would probably do on a bigger guitar with picks on my right hand. But I really don't have too much to say about it. I guess one other comparison would be the comparison with the Taylor GS Mini. So I was looking online, and I've played numerous GS Minis. I've owned a couple. My wife, that's her main guitar, is a Taylor GS Mini, and then I've had this Parlor guitar, and I think it's around the same size. And I don't know if the Taylor, I noticed they don't really call the Taylor GS Mini a Parlor guitar, and I don't know if it's technically considered a Parlor guitar, but it's somewhat comparable to the Taylor GS Mini. The one thing I would say is, with the Taylor GS Mini, I think if you get the Taylor GS Mini Plus with the 18.1 tuning ratios and the Expression System 2 and the solid back and sides, I don't personally care about the Koa. I would prefer Rosewood over Koa. But anyway, the one with the solid back and sides, that's the one. And you know, it's funny, when that Taylor GS Mini came out, that was the GS Mini. And then I think they kind of started sneaking some more budget ones in there. And they're still nice guitars, but they're not as good as that, which now is called the Taylor GS Mini Plus. So they started sneaking some more affordable GS Minis in there without really changing the name. That threw me for a while. And I think this is better than those more affordable GS Minis. I guess I would recommend the Plus over this, but then again, the Plus is a couple $100 more. But if I were buying one of those more affordable GS Minis, I would definitely consider this as a very viable alternative. And it's certainly a guitar you can play a lot for fingerstyle. That would be my primary recommendation for fingerstyle, or perhaps for a younger person or someone that doesn't have a really heavy style, maybe a person who's a little smaller in stature. But definitely a nice guitar. No surprise. I mean, nothing really shocking. Yamaha made a good, solid consumer guitar for someone that, you know, wants a good guitar for the money. That's not a bunch of baloney that you can actually play, and that's what this is. Very nice.